past 3 years, everyone has been rooting for the Saints and Drew Brees to finally bring in that second Super Bowl. 2017 we rooted, 2018 we rooted, and 2019 we all rooted. No matter what fan base you were, no matter if you were a fan of a team inside the Saints division, we were all rooting to see Drew Brees, the most likable quarterback of all time. We all were rooting for him. No one can deny that unless you are a true Saints hater. And even who I do think the Saints are overhyped sometimes, do think that those past 3 years was the Saints' prime year or prime window to finally win their second Super Bowl. Obviously, in 2017, the Minneapolis Miracle, 2018, the no call, and then in 2019, everyone said the push-off. That was not a push-off. That was just bad defense, in my opinion. But no matter what, the Saints choked in 3 straight years. Because the way I look at it, in 2018, they still had a second chance in the fourth quarter. And they had overtime, and they failed. So, but now we're going into a 4th straight year where this window, a lot of people are saying, is still wide open. But they didn't get much better this offseason. And with every team around them in their division getting a lot better, I don't know how they are going to even win their division to make the playoffs. So let me explain. This draft was huge. They didn't have any really picks going in, and they should have made more trades to acquire more picks. But let's talk about it. Their 24th pick, they went Cesar Ruiz, who is a very talented center. But there's the thing. They didn't need to work on their offensive line. Their biggest hole on that offensive line was center. But that offensive line was one of the best in the league. And they could have spent that pick elsewhere. But I don't think it was a bad pick. I like it. But they could have went receiver in a stacked receiving class. And if not, they could have got it. They have 2 third-round picks. Why not? Their first third-round pick, they went Zach Bond in Wisconsin. Very good pick. Very good pick. He can pass rush. He can play at the top or like a natural linebacker. He can play as a Mike. He could be a containment linebacker. He can do it all, and he is a steal in the 3rd round. And then the 3rd round, they go Adam Troutman, a tight end. Perfect. Drew Brees' weapon. He fell to the 3rd. He was probably either the first or second best tight end in the draft, and he fell that far. Then they didn't pick in the 4th, 5th, or 6th. And then the 7th round, they took Tommy Stevens. And then after the draft, they ended up signing Jameis Winston. And people always say, then what would you have done? In that 1st round, I would have either went Cole Kmet or a receiver. And you're like, well, they got a tight end in the 3rd. But Cole Kmet is like a Jimmy Graham Jr. I really think he fits that offense a lot better than Troutman does, even though Troutman is a good fit. But I would have went receiver. I know, honestly, 24th pick, there's still a lot of good receivers there. And then in the 3rd round, I would have picked up a tight end. I think, I just feel like the offensive lineman pick wasn't a bad pick, but it doesn't make sense. Now they have 2 really good centers on their roster. Because that offensive line was perfect. Yeah, you have to worry about free agency, but none of them are free agents until a couple years. And any Saints fans are going to correct me. I know I'm probably wrong with that. But last time I checked, I think everyone was under contract for the next couple years. But, and everyone's like, well, free agency, they got Emmanuel Sanders. They replaced Ted Ginn Jr., a guy who's injured all the time, but is really fast, for a guy that is always injured and very fast than Emmanuel Sanders. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders signing got them any better, to be honest. And they didn't add their biggest need, a true middle linebacker. Everyone's like, oh, Zach Bond. He is a utility guy. He is not going to play in one spot the entire game or an entire season. He's going to move around. And they didn't replace their safeties or corners. They just let them walk and then didn't sign no one else. So it's hard for me to find a way or a reason why this team is going to get better. Emmanuel Sanders, yes, is a little bit better than Ted Ginn Jr., but is he worth relying on him as a number 2? No. Ted Ginn is a speedster that gets hurt. Emmanuel Sanders is a speedster that gets hurt. Now, the offense around Drew Brees altogether is very, very good. They have a talented team now. Like I said, Troutman, Thomas, Kamara, Sanders is a weapon. You could say Taysom Hill is a weapon. But I just don't find... I think they're a piece away on both sides of the ball. They're an extra pass rusher or a strong safety that could force turnovers away, or a number 2 running back, or like a very good tight end, or like a slot receiver away from not being the team that I think won't be good. And another reason why I say this division is stacked. So there's 6 games where they can either go 6-0 or 2-4. This division, they need to dominate the division, and I don't see them dominating this division. They'll probably beat the Buccaneers once, the Blues to the Buccaneers. So they'll go 1-1 against the Buccaneers. I say they'll go 1-1 against the Panthers. The Panthers did give them a little bit of struggle last year early on. And then the Falcons. That defense can't stop that offense, and I feel like they'll go 1-1. 3-3 in that division is not bad, but they're in a strong NFC altogether. And the Buccaneers are going to have a better record than the Saints, which means the Buccaneers will win the division. And then I think I just find it so hard. This is the worst timing for the New Orleans Saints to have a Super Bowl window, because the teams in their conference, the team in their division are all well-rounded, and the Saints did not get better this offseason. But we'll see. We'll see if they make any moves. I don't know the undrafted free agents they signed. Maybe they did get some receivers. There's still free agency there. There's still a lot of guys. They could go back and get Dez. They could go out and get AB, which probably won't happen. There's a lot of guys in free agency still that they can go make. This offseason is nowhere near done. Teams are still adding talent. So I'm excited to see. But as of right now, I do not see the New Orleans Saints being a playoff team. I see them being a flop in 2020. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like and help grow the channel. Leave a comment typing Saints are decent in the comments below to let me know if you guys watch this whole thing. If you do comment Saints are decent, I will know you watched to this point, and it really means a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching.